TV Tan Weekender, another edition of this little signal boost, little addendum to the TV Tan podcast, latest episode, letting you know what's going on, what you should be watching this weekend. Maybe you shouldn't, maybe you should, I don't know. The last one, the first edition, did pretty well, so we'll try it again, see what the numbers look like. Anyway, it came out this week, Dear Santa on Paramount Plus. This is Jack Black as, Satan. He's played a young boy, put a typo on his Christmas wish list to the North Pole, and he sent a letter to Satan instead of Santa. And so, of course, Jack Black shows up and shows the kid a good time. This is a lot like the 2020 sci-fi movie Letters to Satan Claus, but I'll let it slide because, Jack Black going crazy. You can't really go wrong there. Plus, we have a Post Malone sighting. So you got all that going for you there. That is Dear Santa on Paramount Plus. Also, a new conspiracy thriller dropped on Thanksgiving Day, The Madness, starring Coleman Domingo. He plays a political consultant turned on-air pundit. So just imagine one of your favorites on MSNBC or Fox News getting accused of killing a white supremacist. You can totally see it. You could totally see it from somebody from MSNBC, I'm sure. And the stars, as I said, Coleman Domingo, and it's a fast-paced conspiracy thriller just in time for Thanksgiving. Sure, why not? And also a movie dropped on Thanksgiving, Sweethearts on Max. This is two college freshmen BFFs, Kieran Shipka and Nico Haraga. They're both not really thrilled with their current boyfriend and girlfriend. Therefore, says, we'll make a pact to dump them on Thanksgiving because I guess that's a thing you do on Thanksgiving and college. I know it's been a long time since I've been in college. I don't remember that. But if you're thinking they're probably going to get together, even though they're platonic BFFs, you're probably right. You are probably right. Also, dropped on Friday, today, actually, a conspiracy thriller, another one. This is on Paramount Plus called The Agency, starring Michael Fassbender, who's been deep undercover for a spell, and he's called back home to pull out of the secret mission, pull out of your undercover identity and come back home. We've got a new mission for you. And everything's fine until he starts running into people, specifically a woman that he may or may not have hooked up with during his secret mission, and now he's in his real identity and shit gets real. This is also starring Richard Gere, Jeffrey Wright, Hugo Bonneville, pretty star-studded cast, and it's looks pretty intense. And also today, just dropped on Disney Plus, Beatles 64. When the Beatles came to America in 1964 to play the Ed Sullivan Show. Was it that right? Ed Sullivan Show? I don't know. I wasn't around then. But it's basically Beatlemania at its Beatlemania-est. And it's produced by Martin Scorsese and directed by David Tedeschi. And it's part of the Beatles cinematic universe over on Disney Plus. It's going to be a lot of screaming young girls. Let's know that right now. Just if you have an aversion to young girls just screaming their asses off, I don't know. You might not want to see this. Also, a new movie drops today. This one also kind of has the faint smell of what they thought would be a theatrical release, much like Dear Santa. And they decided, let's just stream it. That'll be the safe bet. This is called Nutcrackers, from director David Gordon Green, who's most recently done the Halloween trilogy and Exorcist Believer. So of course you want him to do your family Christmas movie. But Ben Stiller plays a city slicker from Chicago who has to go back to middle of nowhere to take care of his dead sister's 4 sons before they can get him in a foster home. So happy holidays, I guess. So we got a dead mom, dead sister, but we also have Linda Cardellini, Tim Heidecker, Edie Patterson from the Righteous Gemstones, and Toby Huss. That's a killer cast. And of course Ben Stiller, who I can't remember the last time what thing he was in most recently. I don't know. Also on Friday, the fourth season on the CW. In case you hadn't noticed, the CW now only borrows shows from overseas, and they don't make their own things anymore. They just buy stuff, and it worked for Netflix. I guess it could work for the CW. The fourth season of Children Ruin Everything. It's a family comedy, half hour, no laugh track, but it's basically young parents raising kids, and it's a comedy, and it's actually pretty funny. And as far as new stuff, more recent stuff that has happened, I'd definitely check out Lioness. Lioness is getting even more intense in the new season. Now we have the previous season's Lioness tailing the current season's Lioness, because she might be a mole for the other side, whatever the other side is. I don't know who we're at war with in this show, but a lot of people are getting killed. A lot of bodies piling up on that show. And also the second season of Based on a True Story on Peacock, starring Kaylee Kawaku and Chris Messina. Not quite as good as the first, still worth some laughs, but if you're expecting it to rise to the level of the first season, which was pretty much perfect, not quite there, but it does set up a season 3 pretty well. And you'll notice if you watch the first season, they had a podcast together. This married couple and a serial killer who they've teamed up with, because I guess that's the way you make the best murder podcasts. They all team up on a podcast together, and it pretty much falls completely by the wayside. There's not much podcast content in the second season of Based on a True Story, except for the Murder Sisters. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything more about them. I don't want to spoil it for you. And the one I've mentioned before, A Man on the Inside, starring Ted Danson. Definitely worth a look. It's from the guy who did The Good Place. And it's kind of a touchy-feely, feel-good kind of a comedy series. Ted Danson plays an older gentleman, as Ted Danson is, who's hired by a detective to go in undercover at a retirement home because someone's been stealing jewelry. I know it seems pretty high stakes, but it's got the feels. It's all right. It's worth checking out. Also, The Franchise on HBO and Max, behind the scenes of what looks like a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie franchise where everything is going wrong, and they finally finished this movie at the end of 8 episodes, but now it's might go into what we call development hell, where maybe the movie's not even going to get released, or maybe we're going to dump it in January. And it's not looking good for Tecto, whatever installment of the movie franchise is here right now. It's ridiculous. If you liked Avenue 5, you like this. If you have no idea what Avenue 5 is, don't even bother. It's probably not for you. Also really liking the third and final season of Somebody Somewhere. They just had a very touching Thanksgiving episode. Maybe you can watch it on Thanksgiving weekend. It's on HBO and Max. Bridget Everett is fucking fantastic, and I think there's a low-key campaign out there to get somebody, maybe HBO, maybe somebody else, maybe Netflix, to pick up a fourth season of this show. I don't know if it'll be successful, but they're trying it. Good for them. Let them do it. And want to finish up here with Landman. Billy Bob Thornton, just Billy bobbing it all over the fucking place. This is the show was written specifically for Billy Bob Thornton by Taylor Sheridan, and it shows. It just gives him a chance to go off and do his thing. And in the most recent episode, we get a speech about why you're never really going to get rid of petroleum. You're never going to get rid of oil. We're never going to have clean energy because the whole fucking world depends on petroleum. You can't get away from it. So a little chastising there for the younger generations coming up. You'll notice that in these Taylor Sheridan shows, to where there's almost always a little dig in there somewhere about woke culture, because Taylor Sheridan is kind of like the libertarian Ryan Murphy, I guess. And you'll find it in almost every episode, where there's a little jab at millennials and woke culture. And Taylor Sheridan knows who his audience is. They're older, but I think it works well for everybody. Both Landman and Lioness are Taylor Sheridan joints. as were Tulsa King and Mayor of Kingstown. That was it. And 1883 and 1923. And the dude has all the shows all the time. That's the story of the year. We're just all players in the Taylor Sheridan extended multi-universe. Just get used to it. And that's going to be it now. For now, we want to thank our sponsors, Bohemian Brewery. Specifically, they were the first, they were the most previous episode. They were the sponsors. Also, Sugar House Distillery, Outlaw Distillery, Ogden's Own Distillery, and Booze Teak downtown to get your accessories. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of TV Tan Podcast. Good night, America, for now.